The situation between 50 Cent and T.I. has turned into one of the most talked about conversations in hip-hop lately. What started as a few posts and reactions online slowly turned into a full internet moment. Fans, blogs, and even other artists started paying attention to every move. At the center of it all was the discussion around Tiny, and once her name got involved, things quickly became more serious. The internet reacts very fast when family members get pulled into public drama, and this situation was no different. At first, many people expected 50 Cent to respond in a loud way. Fans know his history. For years, he has been one of the most fearless voices in hip-hop when it comes to speaking his mind. But this time, things looked a little different. Instead of jumping out with long responses or dropping music right away, 50 seemed calm. His reaction felt quiet and controlled. Some people even said it looked like a warning more than a response, the type of move that makes people pause and think before they take things further. Meanwhile, the Harris family showed that they were not afraid to speak up. When the situation started getting attention online, the reactions from their side came quickly. Instead of ignoring the conversation, they stepped into it. One by one, voices from the family entered the discussion and made it clear they were standing together. That type of unity caught the attention of fans because in hip-hop, it is rare to see an entire family step into a public situation like that. Another moment that made the situation even wilder was when King Harris jumped into the conversation. Once he stepped in, he did not hold back at all. He went all the way with his reactions and responses. The internet saw it immediately. People began sharing clips, screenshots, and posts across social media. Every move became content for blogs and discussion pages. Then something happened that nobody expected. King decided to take the moment and turn it into something almost like merchandise. He even printed a shirt with his mom's image on it and began promoting it online. For many people watching the situation, that moment showed how fast internet culture works today. What starts as drama can quickly turn into a viral moment or even a business opportunity. While all of this was happening, another familiar name appeared in the conversation. Rick Ross suddenly popped up during the chaos. His reaction caught a lot of attention because instead of acting serious about the drama, he treated it like he was placing an order. Ross jokingly asked if he could get one of the shirts that King was talking about. The moment made people laugh because it felt like someone walking into the middle of an argument just to shop. Ross even joked about the size he wanted. When he said he needed a XXX shirt, people online started laughing even more. The internet loves moments like that because humor spreads fast. Within hours, clips of that reaction were everywhere. Fans were sharing it, reposting it, and adding their own jokes in the comments. The crazy part is how fast all of this happened. Most of the drama unfolded in less than a week. In today's internet world, that is more than enough time for a story to explode. Blogs, hip-hop pages, and even magazines began talking about it. Once media platforms start posting about a situation, it spreads even faster. Some fans even noticed that XXL magazine joined the conversation by sharing posts about the situation. That added another layer to the story, because once major hip-hop media gets involved, it reaches an even bigger audience. Suddenly, the situation was not just a social media debate anymore. It became a full hip-hop headline. At the same time, the internet did what it always does. People started mixing jokes into the conversation. Some fans began mentioning random brand names and funny references while talking about the drama. One moment, people were discussing rap beef, and the next moment, they were joking about snack wraps and fast food promotions. That mix of serious discussion and humor is part of how online culture works today. The biggest question everyone kept asking was simple. Would 50 Cent respond with music? In hip-hop, the ultimate response to conflict has always been a diss track. Fans love when artists step into the booth and turn their thoughts into lyrics. Some of the biggest moments in rap history came from artists responding to each other on records. But in this situation, people close to the conversation started saying that a diss record might not happen anytime soon. Some insiders even said they would bet money that 50 Cent was not planning to drop one right now. That surprised a lot of fans because they know his reputation for responding quickly in the past. For now, there has been silence from 50 when it comes to music. That silence made the internet even more curious. comment sections became full of theories. Some fans believed he was planning something behind the scenes. Others thought he simply did not see the situation as serious enough to respond with a full record. During this time, another interesting topic started circulating online. 50 Cent once claimed that he actually owns the building where Jim Jones records his podcast. That statement alone caught people's attention because it sounded almost unbelievable. Fans began asking if it was true or just another bold comment from 50. So far, nobody has fully confirmed that claim, but the mystery around it made the story even more interesting. When Maino visited a location that looked similar to the place mentioned in the conversation, fans started connecting the dots. Suddenly, people were wondering if there was more to the story than anyone realized. Behind the scenes, a lot of confusion remained. Some people believed parts of the situation were being exaggerated online. Others felt that certain individuals were talking tough but did not actually plan to take things further. In hip-hop culture, that kind of debate happens often. Fans try to figure out who is serious and who is just playing to the audience. One thing that stood out clearly was the reaction from Atlanta. The city showed strong support for T.I and his family. In the South, family loyalty is something people take very seriously. Many fans felt that bringing Tiny into the conversation crossed a line. Because of that, the Harris family received a lot of public support from their hometown. Atlanta has always been one of the most important cities in hip-hop. The artists from that area have built a powerful culture over the years. When someone from that city faces criticism or conflict, local fans often stand behind them. That is exactly what happened in this situation. People online even started saying that the Harris family might be one of the strongest family units in hip-hop. Every time a new post appeared, another member of the family seemed ready to respond. Instead of leaving one person to handle everything alone, they showed unity. That type of teamwork made people pay attention. When a whole family moves together like that in public, it sends a message. It tells the world that they are standing together no matter what happens. Many fans respected that energy. Some even said it reminded them how important support systems can be during difficult moments. On the other side of the situation, people noticed something different. Even though 50 Cent is one of the biggest names in hip-hop history, very few artists publicly jumped into the conversation to defend him. Most of the support he received came from fans in comment sections rather than fellow artists. That contrast became part of the discussion. People began comparing the visible support around T.I.'s family to the quieter reaction around 50 Cent. Of course, that does not necessarily mean artists were against him. Many people simply chose to stay out of the situation. Still, fans continued hoping for one thing above all else: music. Hip-hop fans always love competition on the microphone. When two major figures are involved in a disagreement, listeners naturally imagine what a lyrical battle could sound like. The idea of hearing strong verses and sharp lyrics always excites the culture. However, many observers believe the moment for that kind of battle may have already passed. Once a situation plays out mostly through social media, the energy sometimes changes. By the time people start asking for songs, the artists involved may already be focused on other things. Some people pointed out that 50 Cent has been busy with many business projects outside of music. Over the years, he has built a strong presence in television, film, and other industries. Because of that, his priorities today might be different from his early rap career days. Back then, dropping a diss track quickly was part of the competitive spirit of hip-hop. Today, artists often have many responsibilities that take their attention away from the studio. That does not mean they can't still create music, but the motivation may not always be the same. Another part of the conversation focused on the younger generation. When new voices enter situations like this, they sometimes bring a different energy. That is what happened when Damani, T.I.'s son, released his own record during the back and forth. His verse caught attention because it showed confidence and creativity. Some listeners said his style reminded them of the calm and thoughtful approach used by Andre 3000. Others felt they could hear a little influence from J. Cole in the way he delivered certain lines. Whether people agreed or not, the important point was that he stepped into the moment and added his voice to the conversation. That moment also reminded fans how hip-hop continues to grow through new generations. Artists who grew up around the culture eventually find their own voice and style. Watching that process happen in real time can be interesting for fans who have followed the music for years. While all of this discussion continues online, one question still floats around the culture. What will 50 Cent do next? Some fans believe he may eventually respond in his own way. Others think he is simply letting the moment pass while focusing on bigger goals. In hip-hop history, there have been many moments where artists chose silence instead of confrontation. Sometimes that decision is strategic. Other times, it simply means the person does not feel the situation deserves more attention. For now, the internet keeps watching and talking. Every new post, every small comment, and every reaction becomes part of the story. That is the power of social media in modern hip-hop culture. A conversation that once might have stayed private can now become a global discussion in just a few hours. At the end of the day, moments like this show how complex the music world has become. It is not only about songs anymore. It is also about personalities, families, online reactions, and public perception. All those elements mix together to create the kind of stories that fans follow every day. And as this situation continues to settle down, people will keep sharing their opinions about what happened, who handled it best, and what might come next. Whether the story ends quietly or turns into something bigger later, it has already become one of the most talked about hip-hop discussions of the moment. As the conversation kept growing online, more fans began looking deeper into every small detail. In the world of hip-hop, people pay attention to patterns. They look at past behavior, past beefs, and the history between artists. When it comes to someone like 50 Cent, history matters a lot because he built a reputation for never backing down from a challenge. Over the years, he has responded to critics, competitors, and even entire groups of artists. That is why this moment feels different to some fans. They are used to seeing him respond quickly and loudly, but in this situation, the response has been quiet. Instead of jumping into the studio or going on a long social media rant, 50 Cent appears relaxed. Many people believe that his silence might actually be part of his strategy. Sometimes saying less can create more attention. When someone with his reputation stays quiet, it makes people talk even more. Fans begin asking questions and guessing what might happen next. Another interesting part of the story is how quickly humor entered the conversation. Even while serious opinions were being shared, memes and jokes started spreading across social platforms. That is one of the unique things about internet culture today. People can turn almost any moment into entertainment. A serious discussion in the morning can become a trending meme by the afternoon. That is exactly what happened when Rick Ross joked about ordering the shirt. Fans immediately turned that moment into clips and funny edits. Some people said Ross had perfect timing because he managed to lighten the mood during a tense moment. Others believed he was simply enjoying the chaos from the sidelines. Regardless of the reason, his comment became one of the most shared moments of the entire situation. It showed how a small joke can sometimes travel further than serious arguments. That is the nature of online attention. People love moments that make them laugh, especially when the internet is already full of tension. While the jokes continued spreading, many longtime hip-hop fans returned to a familiar question. Why has the response not turned into music yet? In earlier eras of rap, situations like this often ended with artists stepping into the booth. Diss tracks were one of the most exciting parts of hip-hop competition. They gave artists a chance to prove their skill and creativity on the microphone. Some fans still hope that could happen here. They imagine what it would sound like. Sound like if 50 Cent and T.I traded bars on records. Both artists have long careers filled with strong music. Hearing them challenge each other lyrically would definitely attract attention from across the entire hip-hop community. However, others believe the moment for that type of battle may have already passed. Music today moves differently than it did years ago. Back then, artists often responded within days with a freestyle or a mixtape track. Now the industry moves slower in some ways and faster in others. Social media reactions sometimes replace the need for musical responses. Another factor is the stage of life each artist is in today. Both 50 Cent and T.I have accomplished many things outside of music. They have built businesses, worked in entertainment projects, and created new opportunities for themselves. When artists reach that level, they sometimes choose their battles carefully. Some fans understand that perspective. They believe that once someone reaches a certain level of success, engaging in every conflict may not feel necessary anymore. Others still feel that hip-hop competition should always be part of the culture, no matter how successful an artist becomes. Meanwhile, the younger generation continues watching closely. For new artists and fans, moments like this become learning experiences. They see how veterans handle pressure and public criticism. They observe how quickly online discussions can grow into major headlines. That lesson is important because the internet never forgets anything. Once something becomes part of the public record, it stays there forever. Every comment, every post, and every reaction becomes part of the story that people look back on later. Another interesting part of this situation is the way it shows the difference between online energy and real-life actions. Sometimes the internet makes situations appear bigger than they actually are. Millions of people might be talking about something online, but the individuals involved could be living their normal lives offline. For example, while blogs were reporting the drama, 50 Cent was still appearing at clubs, hosting events, and focusing on his business deals. That created an interesting contrast. On one side, the internet was acting like a huge battle was happening. On the other side, life seemed to continue as usual. This contrast is something many artists experience today. Social media can turn a moment into a major story even when the people involved are not reacting strongly in real life. The attention grows because fans, blogs, and commentators keep discussing it. At the same time, supporters of T.I continued praising the way his family handled the situation. They felt the responses showed confidence and unity. In their view, standing together publicly sent a strong message to anyone watching. Some fans even joked that hip-hop had never seen a family step into a situation together like that before. Whether that statement is true or not, it shows how unique the moment felt to many observers. It was not just one artist defending themselves. It was a group of voices speaking together. That unity became one of the most talked about parts of the entire story. For some people, it was inspiring. For others, it simply made the situation more entertaining to watch. Either way, it kept people talking and sharing opinions across the internet. As days passed, the conversation slowly began calming down. News stories started appearing in the music world, and attention moved toward other topics. That is another pattern in modern entertainment. The internet moves very quickly from one moment to the next. But even when the attention fades, moments like this leave a mark on the culture. Fans remember them. Artists remember them, and sometimes they become part of larger conversations about how hip-hop continues to evolve in the digital age. Many people also began reflecting on the bigger picture. They realized that the entire situation showed how powerful social media has become in shaping public narratives. A few posts can start a chain reaction that spreads across the world. In earlier times, disagreements between artists might stay within certain circles. Today, millions of people watch every move in real time. That level of attention can turn even small comments into global discussions. Despite everything that happened, one thing remains clear. Hip-hop fans still care deeply about authenticity. They want to see artists speak honestly, stand by their words, and show real passion for the culture. Whether that passion appears through music, conversation, or public actions, it is something the audience always notices. As this chapter of the story slowly closes, people continue wondering if there will ever be a final response. Maybe it will come through music, maybe it will come through another social media moment, or maybe the situation will simply fade away as time passes. Whatever happens next, the conversation already proved one thing. The hip-hop community is always watching, always listening, and always ready to debate every move made by its biggest names. And as long as that passion exists, moments like this will continue shaping the culture in new and unpredictable ways. As the discussion kept moving across the internet, fans began looking at the situation from different angles. Some people focused on the entertainment side of the drama, while others tried to understand the deeper meaning behind everything that happened. In hip-hop culture, moments like this often turn into debates about respect, loyalty, and reputation. Those topics have always been important in the rap world, and this situation was no different. Many longtime listeners started remembering the earlier years of 50 Cent's career. During that time, he was known for turning almost every challenge into music. If someone mentioned his name in a negative way, there was always a chance he would respond with a freestyle, a diss track,